Okay, so I decided as I continue to try to explore for people the inner workings of how you turned an idea all the way into a stand-up bit, I'm going to do part 4 here before I actually go up and perform the fully smoothed out, finalized stand-up script. Writing script, not performed script, in the workshop. So here I am, I've done another rewrite on this stuff, so I'm just going to launch into it. It's going to be raw. I can't promise it's going to be funny, but this is kind of the process. I have a mic stand and a fake or broken mic in my living room. And once I write script or I have an idea for something, I will get up and perform it. And I've done so much performing that I can basically imagine an audience pretty easily, how I would speak to them and how I think they would react. And then we'll go up on Sunday and see how they actually react. So here we go. This is the fruit bit, the red fruit bit as it currently stands in session 4. So I hate. Do y'all hate? Anybody in here hate? Well, what I hate, let's keep it easy. I hate fruit. All fruit. It's disgusting. Anybody else? Fruit haters? No? Just a bunch of fruit lovers, fruitophiles. It's disgusting. What's your favorite fruit? They'll say something and I'll make fun of that. I'll tell you my least favorite fruit, by far, tomatoes. That is not vegetative. That's a pancreas. You ever bite into one and see like capillaries and tissue and cartilage spill out? What is that stuff inside there? You're eating a raw human heart that just grew up out of the earth by some freak of nature. Somebody died years ago and their heart just sprouted and became tomatoes. So that's not what y'all have. The reason I hate tomatoes and fruit in general is that it gushes. Like it's a solid, but you put it in your mouth and it turns to liquid. It gushes, explodes like a little balloon of ugliness in your mouth. And by the way, they are organs. All fruit is an organ. Every fruit is the ovary, the matured, ripened ovary of a plant. You're eating ovary. Yeah, that's why it's got all the seeds in it. Those are tiny little unborn tomato plants. So every fruit that you eat is a mass abortion. Take that, right to lifers. Enjoy that next time you bite into a disgusting ovary. And they're swollen. That's why they're so big. They just swell up. And then you're like, that ovary looks ready. That's a ripe ovary. It's Roe versus Farmer. I would actually eat pig eyes. I would eat maybe raw, at least fried pig eyes before I would eat a tomato of any variety. Have I made them more disgusting to you? Then I've done my job. Just trying to make vegans' lives way more disgusting, way more complicated. Oh my God, next time you eat a fruit, you'll be like, how dare he? I think he's right. I think this peach has a pulse. Pulsating peaches. Another thing about tomatoes, and this isn't why I hate them, but kind of why I hate them too. They're politically very questionable. Tomatoes are the MAGA, literally the MAGA of the fruit world. Because legally, they're vegetables. They're clearly scientifically fruits. They're an ovary, seeds inside, that is a fruit. But the Supreme Court in 1893 decided, let's call them vegetables so we can tax them, so we can have a tariff on them. So they're trans. Tomatoes are scientifically, clearly a fruit, but legally they're a vegetable, so that we can manipulate the tax rates. They are trans, they're the trans fruit vegetable. Like, they shouldn't even be in the produce section with other produce. You should have a separate produce section just for the tomatoes. I mean, you think our Supreme Court right now is stupid and corrupt. In the late 1800s, they couldn't even accept fruit science. Food science was completely off the table for, completely complicated. Okay, so that's it. That's where we're at right now. That was about, 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes of 2 sections. I started with I hate, which should cognitively get people into that concept. And I didn't say what I hated because I wanted to draw them in. So I hate should be a statement that starts off a stand-up bit well. There's an emotion there. It creates some mystery. What does he hate? And then I say fruit, which is unexpected. And again, in stand-up, you're always trying to find, and joke writing, always trying to find the unexpected. So then I go into the first part, fruit in general. Like why I just hate fruit. It's gushy. Then I move over to tomatoes. I also do a little crowd work at the beginning, which I often do in bits because I prefer to involve the crowd dynamically, make them actually answer things, and I control it. It's very tight. Like I ask somebody, what's your favorite fruit? And they go, that's disgusting. You should never eat that. And I would probably riff on that. So then I talk about tomatoes, that they're organs. I get visceral. I try to bring it into a very vivid experience for people. Then I do a little bit of science, a little bit of instruction about ovaries. Also, nobody wants to think about eating ovaries. I have a bit about not eating chicken arms, how we very rarely eat arms. Legs, sure, chicken legs, but you never go in, you order wings. You don't be like, hey, give me a bucket of chicken arms. I want some fried chicken arms. We have a problem with different words attached to our foods. And finally, then I sort of veer out of it, and it's probably not as strong, but it's kind of interesting that there's a complicated history of tomatoes in the court system. And so I go in and I talk about that and I attach it to modern politics. I call them MAGA. Tomatoes are MAGA. Trump probably loves tomatoes. Ketchup. He throws ketchup onto the walls. That's probably some leftover, self-hatred about MAGA. So I give it some kind of political twist, again, bringing 2 worlds together that normally aren't ever brought together. So food and politics, very rare combination. So it's clearly still rough. I've still got to work it out. Like, how am I going to perform it? That's what's missing right now. It's getting boiled further and further down. You notice like a lot of it's much more concise than the stuff I did yesterday. It's faster, it's denser, there's more punchlines. The speed to the punchlines is been collapsed because I've done some surgical work on the script. So I've removed every word I can to try to just get the funny words. Like now I just say, that's a pancreas. You're eating an ovary. Those are very short sentences. And every time I do that, it adds a new image, a new sensation, a new idea. And really good stand-up, very short sentences once you get the concept hooked. People hooked on the concept. So I keep going through that. I keep building it out. Now I need to go up and work it with real people and see where the dead spots are and where the energy is. Once I see that, I can go back in and do a rewrite on the script, probably multiple rewrites. And I can then start figuring out the performance script, okay? Does it matter when I walk up and I say, so I hate. Do y'all hate? Do you feel hate? Any haters? Well, I hate fruit. Not fruits. Hate fruit. Fruit. I don't want to hear about your hating of other things. We're going to talk about hate of fruit. So I had to figure out how to perform it, what character to give it, what tone. But we've got a script to work with now. There's 2 parts, the physicality of hating that and then the legality issues about tomatoes. Again, if you watch the first videos leading up to this, there are all sorts of red fruits that you could do more and more stuff about. But we're honing into this to get a very honed script, a very scalpeled script that will work as stand-up. So the next one I will post hopefully will be from the Sunday workshop where I'll go up and do that bit and you can actually see it in a live setting.